You're welcome to my channel, Mindset Academy. In this video, we are told to reproduce the figure that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen using the principle of tangency. Now, the first thing you do is to draw your horizontal line in this manner. You draw your horizontal line in this manner, right? That is the horizontal line you've drawn. And the next thing you're going to do at this end here, you draw your vertical line this way. You draw the vertical line this way. And make it thickened. You can see that? And they are meeting at this point. Is that thickened? Now, doing that, you discover that this center point you see here is the center point you're seeing on the screen. Right? Now there's another line, this line you're looking at, that is inclined. It is inclined at an angle of what? 30 degrees to this center line. That is from here to here, given as well 30 degrees. And when my t-square and my z-square are working together, and my z-square is on the t-square in this manner, I'm going to move it because this inclined side, when the t-square is placed in this position, is 30 degrees. And I'm going to move it to that point, and I'm going to draw an inclined line at an angle of what? 30 degrees. You can see that? Now, at this point here, you see, which will be this line that is connecting these 2 points here, right? I'm going to draw another line that will be forming 90 degrees with this line I have drawn. So placing it this way, I'll be having this. You can see that? So this point, like I said, is the center point you see here. Now, why am I drawing this line? It's for me to draw this distance of what? 40. Is that okay now? So how can I draw the 40? Is that from this center point here, which is that center point you're seeing, I'll measure to the top, which is that top you're seeing, 20, and I'll measure to the bottom, which is this part here you're seeing, 20. That will make us what? 40. So I'll take my compass or my rule, I'll place it at that point, and I just need only 20. So from 0 to here is what? 20. I see that? And I'll place it at this point. I'm going to mark 20 up here, and I'll mark 20 down here. You can see that? 20 up and 20 down. So the next thing I'll do is for me to draw a parallel line with this line here. So let me do that. I'll place my set square this way. What I use to draw this line, right? I'll use to draw this. So I'll put it this way to get parallel lines. I place it this way. I'll draw a line this way. I'll also come up here too. I'll do the same thing this way. Now this is what we have here. So the next thing we are going to do here is that you see this point where this top line meets this horizontal line here. This point you see is that point you're seeing on the screen, right? And there's an arc that is connected to that point, and the radius of the arc is 50 on both sides here and here. What is connecting is what? 50. So I'm going to take my compass, right, and I'm going to measure 50 on my meter rule. So when I take my meter rule and I place it here, and I'll measure 50. So from this point 0 to 5 is going to be 50. And I'll come to that point I was pointing at earlier, which is this. And I'm going to mark an arc at this point here. You can see that. So from that arc here, on that point there, I'm going to draw a curve, faint line. This point and also this point. You can see that. I'll use my faint line. So in doing that, I already know to make you understand that we are fully on track. I'm going to tick in this point here, just to give us an insight that we're actually on track. Ticking from here to here, and also ticking from here to here, as shown in the diagram above. That again, and also from this point to this point is this point to this point here, and from this point to this point is also this point to this point here. So you don't use thick line until you're sure of what you're doing. So the next thing I will do is, there's an arc that connects these two arcs, and that arc has a radius of what? Of 50 at this side, as you can see in the screen. Look at this 50 here connecting this, and also this other one here also with what? 38. So let me first of all do that of the 50 here. Now since it is going outside, I told you whenever the circle is coming outside, right? Whenever it's coming outside, it is what? External. The circle will be what? External, right? So and you're going to subtract. So when you're subtracting, it will be the 50 you see in here minus the 32, and that's going to give us what? 18. So I'm going to measure 18 on my meter rule, right? So I'll measure 18 on my meter rule this way, from 0. This is 10 and this is 18 here, and I'll place it at this point. I'll strike an arc, right? Similarly, I'll measure a radius of what? Of 32. This 32 you're seeing, measure radius of 32 on my meter rule in this manner. 30 and this 32, right? And I'll place it at this point where it cuts this line and gauge it until I have a curve that will actually give me what I want. Just faint line first. You don't use thick line until you're sure of what you're doing. Now I've done that. Then the other one too, this 38 minus the radius of what? 50, and that will give us 12. So I'm going to measure 12 for my meter rule. From here to this point here is 12, right? And I'll place it at this point here. I'll strike my arc. You can see that. So from that point, I'm going to now measure this 38, because this arc you can see is given as what? 38. So I'll measure 38 on my meter rule again. From here to here is given to be is 38 here, right? And I'll place it at this point here where it meets, and I'm going to draw an arc. You can see that. I'm going to draw an arc, faint line first. You can see. Now the next thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to subtract 50 from, I'm going to subtract 50 from this 32 here, because 50 is connected to this 32 and also 50 is connected to 38. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark 50, subtract 50 from 32, and I'll be having what? 18, right? I'll be having 18. I know very well that when I measured earlier on my meter rule, I know from here to here is what? Is 18. From this point to this point here is what? Is 18. You can see that? And I'll place it at this point of 18. I'll strike an arc. And I know very well that if I subtract 38 from the same 50, this 38 minus 50, since it's connected to the 50 line, you can see this 50 here, I'll be having 12. And I know earlier when I measured from this point to this point is 12, or you can just easily put in a meter rule, right? From here to here is 12. And I'll place it at this point here, and I'll strike another arc. So where they meet, I can easily place my compass there and gauge it to that point where they will be connected. You can see that? So from this point, I can easily thicken it. You see that? And here also, I'll thicken this. And here also, I'll thicken this. Then this point is giving me this point of 50, which I am going to thicken. And also here too. You can see that? Now, the next thing I'm going to do here is that I'm going to measure. If you look at this arc that we have here, this arc, it has a radius of 38 at both sides, right? So I'm going to measure that distance of what? 38. Is that taken? Before that, the thickness of this line here, from here to here, so I'll draw an horizontal line this way, and I'm going to measure 15, right? So that is 30. The radius is 15, so it means that the thickness there is what? 30. So I'm going to measure 15 on my meter rule, right? I'm going to measure 15 on my meter rule this way, from 0 is 15 to this point here is 15, and I'll place it at that center line here, and I'm going to mark 15 up, 15 down, right? Then I'll draw my line that will be connected to this point this way. Just draw an horizontal line this way, and also do the same thing at this point here too, this way. Straight line. You can see that? Now we know that from here, the center point here, to where to get this arc you can see on the screen is given to be 200, right? So I'll measure the 200. Use a bigger rule, that is from this point to, that is 200, right? So I'm going to measure it, and I'll get that point. So you measure 200 from that point to where you actually want to measure it to, right? So let's say that from this point to this point here is given to be what? 200. So I'll just measure my 200 at that point from here, and I'll draw my semicircle. See that? We are saying that from here to here is what? Is 200 from this point to this point is measured to be what, 200. So what I'm going to do now is I want to get this arc here um on my drawing, which will be placed around this side here. So what I'm going to do, since the distance of the curve, the radius of the curve is going to be 38, so I'm going to measure 38 from this point upward, right? Or measure 38 from this point upward. The choice is yours. So what I'll do, I'll take my meter rule and I'll measure 38. So from 0 here, this is 30, this is 38 here, right? I measure 38. So from that 38, I'll use my set square and I'll draw a line. And the aim of using my set square is because I want the line I'm drawing to be parallel to this line, right? And if you discover that this 38, the curve of this 38 is connected to the curve of this 50. Is that taken? So the radius of 38, since it's going internally, is this the circle is going inward, right? Meaning it is external. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to add both of them. So taking now, I'm going to do what? I will add both of them. So in adding them, 50 plus 38 will give you what? 88, right? So I'm going to measure 88 on my meter rule this way. I'll measure 88 from 0, 80, 88 here. Alright, so this is 88 I have. And I'll place it at the point I used to get my 50, which is this point here. Where I used to get my 50, so which is where I'll place it at that arc that I used to get my 50, this curve of 50, and this point here. So I'll place it here and I'll cut that parallel line I drew, this parallel line here. You can see that? And take my compass to that point and place it on the arc and ensure that they will be touching each other. That taking, make it more this. So I'll just connect this point to this from here to here. You see that? Now the second one I'm going to do, the same to be applied here. The same 38 I measured here, I'll just move the point from this point here, and I'll come here and I'll mark another 38. Alright, so the reason is so I can draw a parallel line with the help of your t-square. You just need to point to form a straight line. You can see that? Now the same thing I'll do again. The circle is going in, and whenever it's going in, you need to add the radiuses. So I'll add the radius of 38 plus 38, and that'll give me 76, because this is where they are connected to each other, right? So give me 76. So I'm going to measure 76 on my meter rule this way. 76 from here to here is 70, then is 76 here. You can see that? So when I go to the points that form this arc here, and that point is this point here. So I'll place it on that point this way. And I'm going to mark an arc. Is that the key? So from that arc, that point I marked on that straight line, I'll now get this curve that will connect these 2 points together. So I'll just connect them together. You can see that. So this is the spanner that we just constructed. So the next thing we have to do is to draw our dimensioning. So this is what we have here. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and also comment. Thanks for watching.